Buddy, Harold here. In a lot of business situations, you want to know how many days it's taken for something to get done or something to happen. And a lot of times you want a moving average or average production per day. To get the number of days, you could always use date diff and you'll get a straight number of days like here, but that does not take into account uh, weekends and holidays. So there's a vast difference between days since March 31st, 2024 today in total days, 322, but working days is 105 less days. So if you were calculating someone's production and you divided it by the calculation in date diff, you'd be way off. They'd be way low. You'd be dividing by 322 instead of 217. So what you want to do is calculate working days, which takes into account holidays and weekends to get the correct number. And to do that, we use a DAX function. I'm going to get rid of all. I'm going to go to a new page. Well, let's just get rid of my working days. We'll do it over. It's a DAX function called NETWORKDAYS. It takes two required arguments, start and end date, and two optional arguments, weekend and holidays. That lets you calculate the true amount of days something was actually working or the business was open. Start date, date represents the start date, end date, date represents the end date, returns a scalar value, just a number of days. A weekend is optional. If you put one or the default, the weekend will be Saturday and Sunday, two, Sunday and Monday. So if you have different weekends than just a regular Saturday and Sunday, you can factor that in. And you can do 1 day weekends, all kinds of options. So if you had a 6 day work week, you had an odd weekend, that's all factored in with these arguments. And then you can add a table of holidays. It says single column. I like to put a two columns and do a select columns. I'll show you in a minute. So that is network days. So let's go back to Power BI. Now we're in report view and I've taken my working days measure and my working days measure and my calendar off. I'm going to go to home. And actually, I'm going to go to Table Tools and create a new column. And we're going to call that Working Days 2 since I already have one. And that equals Network Days. And then you put your start date. So we'll use the date column. So we'll use the date column from the Amazon sale report I've been using as our start date. End date, I'm just going to say today. So we'll see how many days it was since. I like to capitalize those. There we go. Today for the end date. RBI gets in your way a lot when you're trying to type. And then I'm going to use one for the weekend argument. That's a Saturday, Sunday weekend. Just keep it standard here. Close our parentheses. So working days 2 equals network days. Start date, which is our order date. End date, which is today. And one for the weekend argument, which is Saturday and Sunday. So we'll commit that. It's like I've already used that. So we'll call it 3. Now we'll go down here and grab working days 3, and we'll drop it in our table. And we won't summarize. So now Without weekends, 322 has turned into 230, and so on and so forth. So that's how you do the weekends and network days. We factored in weekends. Now we need to deal with our holidays. Now, the best way I've found to do that is to go to the internet and just get a date table, a holiday table, and just load it into Excel. Then I can save it as an Excel file. So I've got United States 2024 holidays. I've got to close that, get data from an Excel workbook in Power BI. And preview my data. It's nice. Let's go ahead and look at it, transform. So in Power Query, I'm noticing that should be a date time, a date column. Let's rename it to date. Call this day of week. And let's remove this top row. Just one. Okay, now that's good. So we have date, ABC, ABC, that's good. Let's close and apply. 28 rows loaded. Let's take a look at our new table here, United States holidays. So let's drop a table up here and put all three columns on it. So that looks good. If you want to add a holiday, just go back to your table and add one and save it. You see I've added stuff like my birthday, of course, day after Thanksgiving. I don't think anybody should have to work then. So that looks good. Now you have to go to model view and let's drag some of this where we can see it. I'm going to unhook the one I had out before and we're going to hook United States 2024 holidays. So we'll hook date on United States 2024 holidays to date on our date table. Many to one, green, good. Let's go back to report view. Actually, let's go back and look at our working days 3 column statement. So this is where you add the holiday table date argument. So I'm going to say select columns from my holidays table, United States 2024 holidays, date, sorry, comma, date. Oops, I'm going to close the parentheses and shift enter and close another parenthesis. I think that should do it. So network days equals Amazon sale report order date. Difference between that today. Weekends are Saturday and Sunday. And holidays are the date column from my United States. I've selected the column date for my United States 2024 holidays. Commit that. So once we commit that, now our working days are down to 217. So to make sure you have the correct averages for production or days your business was open, use NetWorkDays. It's pretty handy. It's pretty flexible. You can put in whatever holiday or weekend arrangements you have and make it work for you. And that's all I have for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.